Obviously, Vice President Harris made her trip to Singapore and Vietnam. We've also had Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, the American Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, who was in the Philippines and who got the Philippines to walk back their threat to end the military agreement we had with Duterte. And we've also had Wendy Sherman around Asia. So, yes, Wang Yi wants to balance those trips, and we need to pay attention to that feature, U.S. competition in Asia and Southeast Asia in particular. At the same time, America and China have long had interest in relations with all of these countries. And so this is going to be a long term competition for influence that may have no clear conclusion. And if we try to keep points at every single trip of who's been where and who has signed which agreement, I think we will probably be equally parts bored and exhausted before too long. So we need to keep track of both the normal bilateral stuff as well as the great power competition.
Okay, and so how do countries in this part of the world strike the balance then between the relationship with the US and China, given China's growing assertiveness? You've got the issue of Taiwan and also the South China Sea, which is something that Wang Yi touched on in Vietnam. Clearly, no one wants to take sides here.
Right, and most of the countries in the region have China as their primary trading partner, and they benefit from that relationship. But polling, as well as the information we get from diplomats in the region, makes it clear that while they like the economic relationship with China, they also are deeply suspicious of Beijing's political motives and increased influence, and therefore want the United States, a vigorous presence in the region, as an offshore balancer, and would also like us to be more involved economically so that they weren't compelled to bandwagon with China. Unfortunately, President Trump's taking America out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership took that away from the United States for a while. President Biden doesn't seem inclined to test those waters. The American Congress is not anxious to enter into new treaties. So that hurts the United States. On the other side of the ledger, China's naked self-interest and aggression tends to push more and more countries toward an American point of view. In highly developed economies, with the exception of Singapore, it should be noted, about 73% of people hold negative views of China. That's an all-time high. In South Korea, we found from recent polling that the negative views of China are even higher than negative views of Japan. That's astounding. So it is not so much that America has been attractive and convincing as that China has been repulsive and has been pushing other countries away.